Alrighty, getting into set number 4. Gonna be a random versus Protoss here on Orbital Shipyard. Spawning in the bottom left, 4 guns and roaches, our red Protoss player. This is Kerigyl. And his opponent. In the top right in blue, our random player spawning as Terran. For LiT eSports, this is Edennil. So the always annoying prospect of playing against a random player as a Protoss, you kind of have to scout, and you have to scout early. You want to know what you're playing against to start off with, because your openers are just so vastly different. Edennil, he's not going for a really quick. There we go. We do have a refinery coming up here from him, so it's not like he's going proxy 14, 14, 14 or something like that. And yeah, Kerigyl sees that he's playing against a Terran. That's basically all they cared about. He didn't even go in and see the gas being made. It's like, screw it, don't care. I just want to know what race you were. I'm good now. Gate and gas coming up here for Kerigyl now in response of seeing what he is playing. And I guess we'll see from here what these players are going to do. I would expect to see at least one Reaper here from Edennil. Just have a nice little scout, and it could be a little bit annoying because I think that gate was probably a little bit late here for Kerigyl, since he did have to place his pylon pretty far away from his main nexus here. So it took him a little bit longer to get up to that pylon to place the gateway than he probably wanted to. So getting to the cyber core next, and the Reaper is already on the way, so Reaper could get in and be quite a nuisance for a really long time against a Protoss player. Natural commands that are coming down for Edennil. No surprise there, and the natural nexus as well for our Protoss player. They're both players just matching each other's intensity as far as expansions go. And what's going to be the follow-up for Edennil? He's actually making another barracks before anything else. Nothing actually being made out of his first barracks, despite making a second barracks for more, I would assume, more units. He also needs a supply depot pretty soon, because he's going to be supply blocked really hard, real quick. We have a reactor coming up here for Edennil, and another gas. So 2 barracks, a factory, and 2 gases, and with a Reaper out first. The Reaper took a long route, looking for a couple proxies, so it is going to show up a little bit too late to do really much of anything other than scout. This Stalker should pop out to meet the Reaper pretty quickly. Buster Core is on the way as well. Reaper does need to go see at least the fact that this natural exists. He does see that. He's going to try to waste a little bit of time before he walks back up into the firing range of that Stalker, but he will go ahead and get on out, so good job, Reaper. You didn't die. That's always a positive. I'm actually kind of worried about units getting out of this barracks. Barracks is pretty blocked in right now. Obviously the depot can be lowered, that's going to help. There's a 3rd barracks coming up, and this the barracks has there's so much tech being made right now from Edennil. He's got 2 tech labs. He's got 1 on his factory, 1 on the barracks, not actually researching anything. He's got a 3rd barracks coming up. He's got a starport coming up. He only has 2 gases. He only has 23 workers in the first place. That's not a lot of units, really. It's not a lot of workers to actually have an economy to have this infrastructure so quickly here. You can kind of see that he is struggling right now to produce anything out of what he has. He is making a tank. He wants to be safe against whatever could possibly come out. He does have STEM on the way as well, but you see the Twilight Council is finished here for Kerigyl. He's going to get the Reaper before the Reaper sees that, though. It's kind of the question. Reaper's going to get through. So slippery Reapers. They are coated with butter. We'll be able to see the fact that this Twilight Council does exist, but he does get slaughtered. Blink on the way here, no surprise from Kerigyl. And just a really nice setup here by our Protoss player. He's got a couple gates. He's got a lot of stalkers out pretty early, so if he wanted to get aggressive with these, especially since he's going to have blink, he can just kind of bypass this one bunker. There's an engineering bay here for Edennil, which is in a spot that can get sniped pretty quickly if, you know, Kerigyl did go for nothing but blink stalkers for the next 3 minutes or so. We do have a Warp Prism coming up even, so this could get frightening really quickly for Edennil, but kind of good for him is the fact that he's making tanks. Tanks shut down stalkers pretty hard in the early game, but actually Kerygyl's just going to expand. Probably going to use the Warp Prism just to buy himself a little bit of time. Of course, that said, there's already a couple turrets coming up for Edennil here in the natural base. I assume he's going to make some around his main. Yep, there's 1 in the main, 2 in the main even, so he's got those turrets up. He even has up a Viking patrolling. It's kind of like he's playing TVT and he's really scared of drops. But he's playing against the Protoss and he's still really scared of drops. No problem. Drops can, as we saw in the last game, drops can absolutely ruin your day as a Terran player. That was a lot of workers that went down to just a few adepts. Sword Prism is out, but it's looking like it's going to run directly into a Viking, and then a couple turrets. So this could end pretty poorly here for Kerigyl, and he doesn't really have. He's got 2 gateways right now. Are there more? I don't think there's any more. Okay, there's a couple more gateways coming up in the natural base. So he's eventually going to have 4 gates at least. So he can warp in, I guess, probably some adepts to go do some harassing damage, which would be nice. But again, with the Viking patrolling and these turrets already set up here in the natural base of Edennil, it's going to be hard for this Warp Prism to actually get in and do really much of anything. Still nothing but stalkers really coming out for Kerigyl. His 3rd Nexus is finished. The 3rd command center from Edennil is about to finish up here, so he's going to be matching him on pace at least in that regard. However, Edennil is down 14 workers already. And he scans and does see that this command center already exists, or this Nexus already exists down here, and he's got to be a little frightened by that prospect of being down a base to a Protoss player, but it looks like it's just going to be 4 Zealots and a Warp Prism. He's going to run directly into a Viking and 2 turrets, so kind of the question is this actually going to drop its units, or is it just going to die before it does? Okay, he does turn that around. He's like, no. You saw it coming. There's no point. Love the observer spread here by Edennil. He's got it, so he's going to be able to see any drops that do come in if those were going to be a factor. And he even has an extra observer roaming around the map right now. A lot of stalkers moving on the map right now for Kerigyl as well. Looking to, I don't know, try to do something. The Zealots are just walking into the meat grinder up here. I think they killed 1 Marine. So, I mean, that's a positive. Definitely a positive there. A lot of stalkers over here that could just go take out this Viking and probably go home and be happy about that. Nice scan from Edennil. It does snipe off an observer, so there's no high ground vision right now for our Protoss player. So that's going to be a bit of an issue if he wanted to try to do anything with his blink besides attack the rocks, I guess? Sure. Just wanted to attack the rocks. That's all he really wants to do. We do have the Adept upgrade coming up, so that attack speed upgrade is coming up next for Kerigyl. He's actually getting a Twilight Templar Archives up next as well, so he's going to be able to get up to Storm pretty quickly. And it looks like he's just content to get everything tech-wise up before he actually makes units. It's the Protoss way, I suppose, right? He's got a really low army supply right now, and it's pretty weak. It's a bunch of stalkers and some adepts. There's a Warp Prism that's got a couple of adepts in it as well, but again, there's a Viking on this side. There's some turrets around as well. It's not exactly going to be able to do too much. There isn't really Robotech to speak of. We do have the Temple Archives. He is researching Storm. He's actually getting charged now as well. He's got +2 attack on the way. He's got a 4th Nexus on the way, so in every aspect except for like AoE tech that's actually out on the field right now, Kerigyl is excelling. Got a nice gateway explosion happening here, albeit one of the worst sim cities I've seen in a while. This poor Warp Prism, he's going to try and get it in here. He probably is going to be able to sneak in if he's able to actually drop any units. He doesn't. Oh, goddamn. Isn't able to drop any of his units, actually. So that's kind of sad for him. did all that work to try and sneak on in, and it just did not work. And now Kerigyl, this is really unwise. I mean, there's tanks back here. Does he have vision? No, he doesn't have vision up there. You're going to have to get the heck out of there. Yeah, he just blinks on back with those stalkers. Like, nope, I'm not going to deal with that. Gets on out of dodge as fast as he can. There's a drop actually in the main base that I completely missed moving across the map. They're killing off a few workers. Actually, he could just go for a couple pylons. He's not able to stop Storm from researching. Actually, the overcharge goes down on the pylon that... he's going to lose those stalkers that were coming up as well. He does get Storm research, but he loses 2 pylons, and he loses stalkers that he was trying to warp. He doesn't lose the stalkers, but he loses the warp in time at least. Those stalkers could have blinked underneath that medevac maybe and killed that off, but he's content just to shoo it away. He does need to power up this little area once again if he wants to start making anything. He does have a few High Templar over here, and once again he's looking like he's trying to pressure with just some stalkers, and trying to pressure with stalkers into 1-1 bio with medevacs and tank support. It's not going to do anything. He's just gonna forfeit some units right now. With an already kind of low army... Oh, I thought those were stalkers. If this would have been stalkers, this medevac would have been so dead. And I'm not even sure if that medevac actually saw the probes transferring or not. And he's pretty over this game. He's gonna pick up his tanks. He's gonna start moving out, moving forward. He's got a pretty nice army right now. 103 army supply to 51. He's doubling his bonus army supply. The only AOE for Kerigyl right now is in these 4 Templar. And Charge still hasn't finished because he still is just now starting to try and repower this little area over here. Drop came back into the natural base. He's starting to kill off some more workers. This Templar that had a storm on it is going to go down as well. This drop will get cleaned up. There's actually a lot of Templar. There's a lot of Templar. How many Templar do we have right now? He's got 10. This needs actually storm. There we go. A couple storms going down. How is the weather? Not that bad, actually. Weather's pretty okay. It's kind of cloudy, but we got through it. And Kerygyl's not going to bother with these 4 storms. Actually, probably like 7 storms he had over there. Just going to tap out. Edennil will take it. GG to him. LiT will go up 3-1 here in this series this week. Our next match is going to be a Platinum match. PVZ. Coming up next in just a few minutes.